All right, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. It is it is September 1st, 2022. And my name is Toby Clark, Toby Clark Show. I'm going to do a new segment. We're just going to call it Stories. And this is going to be audio only. This will be on our podcasts as well as other places, but it may not show up everywhere, but obviously you've found it. This is where I have the opportunity to share just different, fun, random stories about my life or other people's lives. Things I've seen, experienced, how my day has been. Try to be as fun as possible, not in a funny sense. I'm just not a funny guy. I'm not a very funny guy. I'm kind of humor, am I? You know, you'd have to ask the people that are closest to me. I kind of a dry humor, I think. But not of the ultra dry type. I don't know what kind of humor I would fit into exactly. Anyways. Sunday afternoon, it is Thursday now. Sunday afternoon, early evening. We take our dogs over to the dog park most days. And my wife was out of town for the weekend, for a girls' weekend. Go girls. And I thought, I'd continue to be the best dad to these dogs that I can be, especially single dad when mom's out of town. And, my wife takes care of a lot of things around the house, I will say. She's a housekeeper, and I don't mean that in any negative sense or even traditional sense, although I guess it is kind of traditional. But it works for us. Not that, don't get all mad at me for being some feminist or something like that. Come on. It's not the point. When she's gone, though, I feel it. So I thought I'm going to take both dogs. We have 3 dogs. We have 2 little dogs. One, maybe a little over 14 years old, so she's not quite on her last leg, but maybe close to it. Literally, she has a hard time with her back hip, so maybe she is getting to be on her last leg. See, I'm not that kind of funny. That's like a knock-knock joke. Anyways, I got to the park. I took our newest pup, who is also a small dog, about, 8 pounds or so. And our biggest dog, who's pushing close to 100 pounds, and he's an Airedale Terrier. And they both love the park in their certain ways. Nashville or Airedale loves the park. Come 5 o'clock, it's time to eat, and then it's time to go to the park. Our middle dog, or our youngest dog, Rocco, he only wants to go to the park if I'm going to the park, not if mom goes to the park. And he's a daddy's boy, for sure. He's a daddy's boy. So, and when mom's home, by the way, he eats and he runs to my closet to escape the wrath of mom, who's going to want to take him to the park with his big brother. It's hilarious. So, but I'm taking him to the park, and so he's all raring to go. So we get both of them to the park. Fast forward, they have a good day.
Why she?
Rocco doesn't leave my side very easily. But he's playing with some pups, he's playing with some dogs, he's doing a good job. And then Nashville, all he wants to do is what we call ball day. He doesn't want to run. Some days he runs and runs and runs. Other days he just chills it, and he likes to He likes to run with the ball. And this was one of those days where all he wanted to do was just throw the ball up, chase it, throw the ball up, chase it, roll over, chew on the ball. So he gets to about 30 minutes in, which is a pretty long park day for me, 30 minutes in. And there's another little stubby dog. You know those stubby dogs? Little stubby legs? Maybe 30, 35 pounds, little stubby legs. And stubby leg dog is known to kind of wreak a little bit of havoc at the park. They're pretty new. They're newer. There's 3 of them, 3 dogs. Not 3 stubbies, only 1 stubby. And that dog has been known to like wrestle and not play with, but want to fight younger or smaller dogs. So for whatever reason, that dog wasn't really even doing anything with Nashville. And Nashville was minding his own business, chewing on his ball. But then Nashville kind of gets funny sometimes where he starts to play a game with himself where acts like other people want to get his ball. And no one was trying to get his ball. Stubby Legs wasn't trying to get his ball. But for whatever reason, about a few minutes into this, I'm sitting on the ground and I look over at Nashville and he has looked at this stubby leg dog, and for whatever reason, he's gotten some sense from stubby leg dog that it's on. And I don't know if it's from what he remembered from days past, what this dog has done. Maybe he sensed that he was going to mess with his younger brother, Rocco. I don't know. But he went over to this stubby leg dog and just was going to show him who's boss. And there's no doubt Nashville can show pretty much anybody that he wants to who's boss. I wasn't worried about Nashville, but I jumped up off the ground and I reached I'm not on video, but just try to picture this. You've probably maybe done this before yourself. I will tell you, please do not do this. Do not do this at home, folks. I reached my arm around Nashville, trying to get a hold of his neck so I could have enough momentum to pull him back. And just as I was doing that, stubby leg dog, I looked down and stubby leg dog was teeth, mouth wide open, teeth headed towards Nashville's throat. Nashville could have handled it a whole lot better than my hand. My hand got in the way and I took the brunt of this chomp that stubby leg was going to give to Nashville. And he literally just grabbed a hold of my hand and then kind of fell back down. He kind of jumped up and grabbed a hold of it and then kind of, I don't know if he kind of, what do you call it, like yanked back down. Well, I don't even know what the word would be. Not fell back down, but kind of slid through my hands, almost through my knuckles, all the way back down to the ground. A little more graphic. So I look down and I see this gap in my hand that looks like it's going about halfway through my hand. I can almost see my knuckle down below. And it's a fairly long gash that's super wide, and he's taken out this whole chunk of skin. And then, of course, I kind of go into shock, and it begins to bleed everywhere. And thankfully, I told you, my wife was out of town. My wife's a nurse, so it would have been great if she was there. But there was another nurse there. Her name was Lauren, and funny enough, that's our daughter's name. So Lauren and some of the others, somebody ran to the car and had a little med kit and was able to get the bleeding to stop, put some pressure on my hand, and was super thankful for that. Kind of jerry-rigged enough so that I could get to the ER. And I ended up trying to get a hold of one of our kids, tried to get a hold of Caleb and Faith. Both of our kids are married. And Caleb and Faith live just about a half a mile away from us, so I thought I'll try them first. And they weren't answering. And I tried again, FaceTime, tried again, FaceTime. And then I thought, oh no, I'm gonna have to go to the SOS. So we have a family text that all of us are on, and so I just typed in the words with my one hand as they were doctoring up my other hand, all caps, emergency. Well, I knew that would get somebody's attention, and Caleb immediately called me and said, Dad, what's going on? I said, I just got bit pretty bad by a dog. I'm gonna need to go to the hospital. I said, where are you guys? I said, we're Pacific City, he said. Nice mall, call it a mall, but that's not the right word, just kind of shopping area with super cool restaurants right off of Pacific Highway across the street from the beach here in Huntington. And I said, oh man, you guys eating? He said, yeah, we're eating. And you got your food yet? No, we haven't gotten our food. No, don't worry. I did not want to bother them. So long story short, they said, no, we're getting our food and we're coming. We'll be there in a second. So they get there, and sure enough, they show up, you guys, and Faith is in this beautiful, beautiful dress, beautiful high heels, semi-high heels, glassy pearl white shoes. Then I see Caleb, and he's got this, button-down shirt on, which he hardly ever wears anymore, and got slacks on. And I'm like, oh my goodness. They were at a super nice restaurant, which they never get to do. They're students. They live on a major budget. And I just ripped them away from the one time that they're going to go out and have a nice dinner. And I start apologizing, and they're so sweet. No, Dad, but let's do this. I said, just drop me off at the ER. And I said, oh, well, we'll get there. And so we get to the ER. I said, let me just get checked in, and then why don't you guys sun hasn't set yet. Why don't you go eat your food, have a nice sunset dinner. I'm so sorry. No. We'll wait till you go back. And I'm like, no, you'd really make me feel better if you would go do this. And they just continued 2 or 3 different times. And finally, Caleb said, Dad, we're not going anywhere. We're going to see this through with you. And we're not leaving until you leave. And of course, inside I'm smiling like, oh man, that is what a loyal response. And by the way, our daughter who lives 4 or 5 miles away, I knew she would be further away. She had sped down the 405, and she actually beat us to the hospital. Was there before we were there. So 3 of us were there, and Lauren said, no, I'll stay. And Caleb and Faith said, yep, we're staying as well. So I went back, and a little small hospital. I was the only one in the waiting room, so that was nice. I got back, and they did the cleaning and got 4 stitches. You're not supposed to stitch a dog bite, but since we had gotten verification, vet verification of that dog being current on everything, he said, you know what, we really need to put a few stitches in this if possible, because it's a pretty deep wound, and super kind of wide gap that is not going to heal very well. So he said, I think we can safely put some stitches in. So we just put like 3 stitches in the main part, and 1 stitch actually in my knuckle that got hit pretty hard, and you could see close down to the bone. And I was out of the ER. Did a great job, by the way, this hospital. I would reference their name, but I don't even remember the name of the hospital. And by 8:15, I'm back home. Lauren had went ahead and headed home to be with her husband, and after I had gone back into the back room to be taken care of by the nurses and doctor, by the staff there. And Caleb and Faith sent me a picture when I was back there of them in their car eating their nice food that they got from this great restaurant in the parking lot of the hospital. And all I could do was smile. So I got back into the waiting room. There they were. They had finished their food. They were waiting for me, and took me back home. Got back home by 8:15 or so, and was just so thankful that all 3 of them were there to take care of me and just show loyalty to me, I guess. I had a hard time receiving it, I will say. I did end up sending Caleb and Faith $100 that would cover another nice meal, so they could go repeat that on another night. But that's my dog story, and I see a stubby right now. It's not the stubby I was referring to. I'm down at the pier Kind of looked like that. If I had a camera, I'd show you. Looks like Stubby walking by. That's it for now. Thanks for being a part of the Toby Clark Show, and hope you enjoy stories. Talk soon. Later.